What is up, you guys? This is All Day Any Day 1 on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you another Red Dead Redemption 2 online video. And with this video, I'm going to be giving you is, I'm going to be showing you, or I guess talking about the ability cards and explaining which ones are better to use and in which certain situations and which ones are not going to be as great. So your abilities are going to be obviously in the ability tabs, and then you're going to have 4 different ability perk cards. So you're going to have the Deadeye perk, and then you're going to have the 3 passives. So with the Deadeye perk, you're going to have these 3 at the right at the beginning. You're going to have the moment to recuperate, focus fire, and painted black. So for those of you that don't know, a moment to recuperate's not that bad, but I wouldn't say it's the best ability to have. The reason why is it is a good ability because you do get healed over time. Plus, if you get it upgraded even to the second one, you get a lot of health regen pretty quick. But the only problem about this is when you get shot at and you take damage, your Deadeye cancels and then the healing will stop. So having this generally, I mean, it's good if you can get into cover and then hide from the gunshots, but in PvP generally this won't be that great unless you've already killed everyone and then you have you're by yourself, you're able to get your health back pretty quick. And then focus fire is not bad. It's pretty nice because you can buff yourself and your team's damage up if you're using the Deadeye. Now, if you get it all the way maxed out to rank 3, I don't even have it unlocked because I just didn't feel like using this one. But I do have a friend who has focus fire and he's got it up to rank 2, and it's a noticeable difference because with my varmint rifle I'm able to actually do a little bit more it obviously you will be doing a little bit more damage, but you'll be noticing a difference. And I think it's at least 33% for each tier. So tier 1's 33%, and then the next one's 66, and the next one's 99. So you're getting 1/3 of the increase. So this one's not bad if you're trying to buff your own damage as well as your team's. Painted black is going to be really useful for those of you that are free aim or even auto, aim assist, but generally free aim. This is going to be the best way to go about because if you free aim and then you just use your Deadeye and then you mark them in the head, that's an insta kill. That's pretty much like the aim assist in a way. But painted black is really useful just in general because of the fact that you can mark the enemy, and then as soon as you mark them, you're gonna get the kill. And you can not just mark one enemy, but you can mark multiple enemies. And now for slow and steady, what slow and steady does, it says while Deadeye is active, you take a little less damage and headshots do not kill you outright, but you cannot run or sprint. So that's not bad. The only problem I don't like is the fact that you can't run or sprint. That's literally the only thing I do not like about this. And when you upgrade it, it's still gonna make you not be able to run or sprint, but you just take a lot less damage over time from each tier. And now the one that I'm using now is pretty much just like the moment to recuperate, but instead it allows you to heal yourself and your team, and if you get shot, you still regen health. So for me, I think this is probably the best one to go with other than painted black. Painted black is just a great ability to have overall, but I think this one for solo play and co-op play, especially in the future when there's like bank heists and all this, the quite quite an inspiration is going to be a very useful ability to have if you have at least 1 or 2 people with it. It's not going to stack with multiple people having it, but what you could do is you can alternate. So one person would use all of their Deadeye to heal yourself or themselves and their team, and then the other person would do the same. So it's pretty nice to have. I would say it's really nice to have this. I really think it's useful. I use it a lot. And then Slippery Bastard seems like it would be really useful in a sense, because what it does is if you're going against the player who's using the aim assist, they won't be able to hit you. But the problem is if you have it active or activated, when they can't hit you, you can't hit them either until you turn it off. Now, it says the rate at which your Deadeye, so the Deadeye is also going to lose its rate a lot faster, but there is another perk or passive that can kind of counterbalance it. So that's all the Deadeye perks. And now for the first passive, or I guess all the passives, we're going to go ahead and go with all the combat passives. So you get Horseman or Horseman, and what this does is it allows you to do more damage while you're on horseback. I don't care for this one personally because of the fact that I don't like to fight on top of while I'm on my horse. So, and I find it easier to kill someone that's on the horse, just because I think it's harder to aim while you're on the horse, especially if you decide to go free aim. I think it would be a lot harder to get kills on the horse per se. And then for the second one, it's going to be called Necessity Breeds. And with Necessity Breeds, it's pretty risky. It's like a high risk, high reward type of perk card. And what it does is, as you get closer to death, you start to do more damage. And I don't know if this would be I don't think this would be the best option at all. In my opinion, it wouldn't be, because you don't really want to be close to death, and I don't know how close you have to be for the damage to actually kick in. I don't know if you have to be like one shot away from death from like a varmint rifle in the chest, because that's really low. Or maybe your screen just has to be red or something. But either way, I don't think that would be the best option. I don't think there's any type of invulnerability either for it. Yeah, there's nothing that can negate the damage or anything. So for me, I personally don't think that would be the best way to go. And then you have, sorry, I keep coughing. You have Landon's Patience, and I think this one's pretty good, especially if you're like a sniper, a long-range type fighter. So with Landon's Patience, it says waiting up to 15 seconds between shots slightly increases your damage. So having this, I think, would be the best option to go with if you are someone who decides to use a sniper, because you're not going to be shooting them every second. You're going to at most times you're going to hit an enemy every 15-ish seconds, maybe 5 to 15, 10 seconds or so. But either way, I mean, I think this would be a really useful one for those of you that do use snipers. But if you don't, this probably is something you'd want to skip. And then the short game, you deal a little more damage to targets closer to you, but less damage to targets further away. So this would be good for, I guess, revolvers and pistols as well as shotguns. Shotguns already pretty much one shot anyway, so I don't think this would, I mean, in a sense, it could still be useful for shotguns, but shotguns already do one shot at close range. But if you're gonna hip fire with revolvers or dual revolvers or whatever, this would be the best way to go, because you're gonna be pretty close up range to them having this. Now I don't know, or melee weapons are pretty much insta kills as well, so that doesn't matter either. And then for Hangman, your lasso chokes your enemy, dealing a little damage to them for every second they're lassoed. So if you are the type of person who likes to run around lassoing people, then this is gonna be something you're gonna want to go with. But for me, I hardly ever use my lasso, so this is just something I wouldn't even worry about going with. And then you have Winning Streak. So each consecutive shot on the same target does a little more damage than the last. So this one is something I would highly recommend anyone using. I will eventually get this once I upgrade my other perks. This is something I'm going to end up getting as well, because of the fact that you're doing more damage over time. So if you're using, let's say, I don't know, if you're using the revolver and you're hip firing, each shot is going to just do more and more and more damage until the enemy is dead, which I feel like would be extremely broken in a sense, because your damage isn't going to go any lower on that one target. On that one target, it's going to always keep increasing. Now, I'm pretty sure it'll reset if you hit another target. So if you're shooting at target 1 and you don't kill them, but then you see target number 2 and then you start shooting them, pretty sure that the Winning Streak perk, passive, whatever you want to call it, will end up resetting. But then again, I haven't actually tried it out myself, so I can't exactly tell you. And it's kind of hard because we don't have damage numbers to actually see that. Now, for the recovery abilities, you have Come Back Strong, which I think is a really, really good ability to have. Definitely a great first passive to get, because what it does is when you take damage, you start to regen your health back after you've taken some damage. So your health begins regenerating sooner after you take damage, and then if you get it up to the third perk, you quickly regen. So it says your health begins regenerating much sooner after you take damage. So it begins much sooner. So yeah, it'll start regenerating probably like within a few seconds of you getting shot at. And then this one, perk condition, you inflict a little more damage if your stamina bar is at full or is at 75% to full. So this one, what I found pretty useful at times, but that's because my sprint button was broken and I had to get a new controller, and now it works and I'm always under 75%, so now I don't even use this. But if you don't sprint a lot, this would be really useful because you're going to be always doing a lot more damage while you're over 75% of your health or 75% of your stamina bar. The next one is going to be Eye for an Eye. Headshots restore a little Deadeye. Now, I was thinking this might be really useful if you're going to be using something like the Paint It Black ability or the healing ones, just really any of those Deadeye abilities. I think this would be useful. Now, I don't know if it'll stack while you're using Deadshot or Deadeye and then you use this passive at the same time. I'm not exactly sure if they will refill your Deadeye while you're using it, but I think this is still going to be really useful. Even though you already get Deadeye anyways for headshots in general, you will be getting a little bit more added to that, so you can, I guess in a sense, you'll be able to have more Deadeye a lot more, or you'll be able to have more Deadeye a lot faster than you would normally. And then the focus of gift, items and abilities which restore Deadeye have their effects slightly improved. You deal a little less damage though. So if you use any of the tonics that increases your Deadeye's duration or whatever, that buffs your Deadeye, your damage is going to be reduced. I don't think this is going to be a good passive to have in general. Maybe if you are going for like a healing type of build, then possibly it could be pretty good, just because of the fact that you're able to, I guess, in a way, sustain your Deadeye a little longer. But for me, I'm not going to bother with getting this one at all. Maybe this would be one of the last ones I'll end up getting. And then I got Strange Medicine. You regain a little health whenever you inflict damage. Your health otherwise regenerates at half the normal rate. So trying this out, I didn't really notice a huge difference in my health regen, or my health regaining back per shot. But that's probably because it's only at rank 1. I believe at rank 3 you'll start to notice a big difference. So I would probably highly recommend this one, just because of the fact that you're always going to be getting health back per shot. And if you're able to keep rapidly shooting the enemy and getting hit marks, you'll be able to get yourself back to full health. Now, like what it says, otherwise regenerates at half the normal rate. That's going to be a little bit of an issue for some people, but with the Deadeye perk of the regen, your health is going to be really useful. As well as the Come Back Stronger, you're regenerating your health sooner, or much sooner. It's not going to regen your health a lot faster than what it normally does, but it'll regen earlier. And then the next one I have is Cold-Blooded. So Cold-Blooded, after killing an enemy, you will regain health over time over the next 5 seconds. So your health will just regen for 5 seconds and then it'll stop. And then if you get another kill, it'll regen for 5 seconds, and so on and so on. So these two basically go hand in hand in a sense. This one just regens per shot, this one regens a kill and then per second. So they both can basically work really well together. I would honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, probably go ahead and use Strange Medicine, get that ranked up to rank 2, and then get this ranked up to rank 3 to see how well that'll actually play out. And now for the defense abilities, this one's going to allow you to pretty much take more damage. So hunker down, you take a little less damage while you're in cover. Most people don't go into cover. Most players don't normally go into cover unless you're doing PvE. Even then, some people tend to not go into cover. Now, obviously, if you're a smart player, you would go into cover, and if you go into cover, having this, or if you find yourself going to cover a lot, this is going to help. And then to fight another day is a really useful one, because not only when you're sprinting, from what I've heard, it's not only when you're sprinting, but it's also when you're on your horse as well, and your horse is sprinting. That would also count towards this perk card, which I think would be very useful when you're just going around hunting and whatnot, and someone's trying to kill you. You're just going to take a lot less damage if you have it maxed out. And so I honestly think this is a really good one. I'm probably gonna get this one later on, like probably the third card I'll end up getting, but this is not my number one priority. But I do think it is a really good card to have. Now the next one I ended up getting was the Unblinking Eye. The reason why I ended up getting this is because of the fact that it reduces how much the Eagle Eye and Deadeye costs, and it's whatever you want to call it, the Deadeye Barn. I do want to get this maxed out, so that way I can have my Deadeye a lot longer, so that way I can heal myself more, like continuously, as well as being able to just use my Deadeye ability. Because with Deadeye, your accuracy is basically at 100%, making it to where the bloom doesn't, your reticle doesn't bloom out or anything. So you're always gonna have the tight reticle, being able to get easy headshots. And then take the pain away. Whenever you revive someone, you both take a little less damage for the next 8 seconds. So this is pretty decent, but not many people go for revives, and even then, not many people can be revived in general. So that's kind of like something that is a 50-50 type of thing. It basically becomes, it's basically comes down to the person needs to first get downed to the point to where they need to be revived. Hopefully that person doesn't kill themselves, or the enemy doesn't come up and kill them. And then the other thing is you have to go up and revive them without getting killed by the other player or the NPC or whoever. So that's why I haven't really bothered with take the pain away. But other than that, I mean, being able to take less damage for 8 seconds is kind of a long time, especially if you're pretty deep into the enemy territory. Now, if you can revive the ally pretty quick, then I can see how this could be really useful, as well as being able to see or have your allies go down more often rather than instantly just dying. Now, the next one is of single purpose. You take a little less damage from bullets while unarmed or using a melee weapon. So if you are the type of person who likes to run around with a knife or a lasso or just your fists, then you're gonna definitely want to go with the single purpose. So because most people are going to try to kill you, get a headshot off of you, or shotgun you. I'm pretty sure shotgun would still kill you. If not, it'll get your health really low. But this perk would actually be really useful if, I think, in name your weapon game modes, this perk card would be really useful, because you're going to be running around with a tomahawk and you don't want to get killed instantly by someone using the Lancaster repeater or anything. And then the last perk card in the defense abilities is Never Without One. So this one, I think, is probably one of the most overpowered ability perks. I haven't gotten it yet. I haven't gotten around to it, but I do want to get it, because what it says is your hat will block the one headshot and then fall off. While not wearing a hat, you take more damage. That's the only downside, I think, because of the fact that it would take, instead of 3 shots with the Lancaster repeater, it would take them maybe 2 shots to kill you. And then when you get it upgraded, though, it says while wearing a hat, you take less damage. So as long as your hat is still on your head and you don't get the headshot or whatever towards you, so that your hat flips away, what it does is you take less damage just in general, not just from the headshot, but from your body. So what I think a good combination would be with the cards would be the Never Without one, and then I believe it's in the Deadeye perk. It should be. I think it would be. Alright, so Slow and Steady. So Slow and Steady, and the other perk that I just had said, I completely forgot what it was. Slow and Steady and Never Without one would be really good combination cards together, just because of the fact that with one, it allows you to take way less damage plus less headshot damage. You basically don't take any damage from headshots, and then with Never Without one, you get hit in the head, your hat goes off. The other ability, you get hit in the head, you're not dead instantly, and then you basically have one more chance with a headshot, so which I think is pretty useful. But honestly, that's pretty much it with this video. I just wanted to go over the ability cards to let you guys know what I think, which ones are useful, which ones are not going to be useful. And later on, I will be doing like card builds or whatever you want to call them. Right now, I'm just going with a healing build at the moment. Well, I want to get it maxed out to see how useful the healing build would work in PvP, even though most people are going for headshots, and then headshots, you can't heal through that because it's an insta-kill. But other than that, I mean, I think this is a pretty solid setup for like PvE type content if or whenever they add or they decide to add the robberies and whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much it with this video. If this helps you out at all, go and leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know down in the comment section as well, and I'll try my best to answer them as well written as possible, I suppose. And there's a gunfire going on right next to me. But anyways, like I said, if this helps you out, go and leave a like, comment, subscribe. This is All Day Any Day 1 on the PS4. Have a good day, good night, and peace.